ones for Nigel. How's the mic coming through? Do you want me to go closer?
No, it's booming.
In a good way?
Yeah, in a good way, yeah.
Okay, because booming is a bad thing.
Yeah, booming's
Sorry,
bad,
as well.
yeah, no, it's perfect. It's perfect.
So tonight I'm going to take you through a journey of sound.
Okay, that sounds cool. All right, quiet please. Sounds good. If you can clap your hands together in front of your face, James or Jim?
I don't even know where the lens is. James Armstrong got in touch with me saying he's working on a cool project that involves reverb, a passion of mine. And he stated that he's going to sample different spaces in the local area, which I thought was awesome. And he asked me to get involved, so I gladly accepted. The dance studio has amazing reflections in it. I listened to all of the impulse responses and I thought just acoustically there was a really interesting, because you've got a mixture of like brick and wood and glass, you've got a very interesting properties about the space. I just thought gigging in it would be awesome, but also in terms of the actual sound itself, I thought it was perfect for my music. I've been working alongside the Trust and getting involved with everything the Trust is doing for the last year or so. I was part of the Pay It Forward series of events. I have a program called Waveform Rave Dorm, and we collaborated with the 4ces Trust to essentially get upcoming musicians that are starting out, try and get them familiar with the processes in the music industry. And this project is just a really exciting one to preserve the cultural history of a lot of these spaces in the local area.
We're here at the Pl4ces Centrifuge to map these amazing acoustics. It's a really phenomenal space to be in for me as a musician, and hopefully for the musicians that get involved with the project as well. So with acoustic mapping, essentially what we're doing is we're creating a transient burst of sound. In this instance, we're using a balloon. The way this works is we will burst a balloon and we will capture the sound of the balloon reverberating around the space. And we can take that recording, load it in the music software, and we can essentially turn it into a reverb effect, which anyone can use very, very easily anywhere in the world. This would be a really interesting place for not only bands, but artists in general to perform, because it's so unusual. It doesn't sound like a music venue. And what happens when musicians play in an environment like this is they respond to the space. It almost becomes an additional instrument in the band. And it's something musicians really enjoy experimenting with. They get quite creative with it, and it just adds an extra layer of fun to the process. So the impulse response-based effects that we're going to be making available for this will be available for anyone, anywhere in the world. With the right software, which you can also get for free, and we'll be documenting how to do this and having a walkthrough video. Anyone, anywhere in the world can use the acoustics of the Pl4ces Centrifuge.
I'm Sue Adcock. I'm one of the trustees at the Pl4ces Trust, and I run the tours here at the Farnborough Man-Carrying Centrifuge. Previously, I was a research scientist at the Royal Aircraft Establishment, and I also spent 4 years here at the Royal Air Force Institute of Aviation Medicine, running trials and acting as a subject on this wonderful machine. If people would like to come and visit, we do run tours on a regular basis. Then all they need to do is go to our website, www.farnboroughcentrifuge.org.uk, and all the details are on that.
So my name is Hannah Lou Clark, also known as Hannah Lou Clark. I got involved with the project via Karina. She contacted me. I used to go to shows at the Westie when I was younger and play in local bands, so kind of been around the scene and know her and the charity from there. And yeah, she just approached me and asked if I wanted to be involved, and I thought it sounded really cool and unique, so I was more than happy to get involved. The project, it's quite different, I suppose. It's for me to do, it's something quite unusual. I've never done anything like this before, so it's been quite cool to sort of push my songwriting boundaries and do something a little bit different, which is quite important, I think, as an artist, to grow and do these sorts of things. So yeah, it's definitely something that I'm keen to do more, more similar things like this. My relationship with Pl4ces Trust is mainly through kind of local bands, playing shows as a teenager and coming up in the kind of local scene. They've been really good at sort of bringing bands together and kids in the community that want to play music and express themselves that way. So that's kind of my involvement. And also my husband, he's a big Mega City 4 fan, so it's quite a nice connection as well. Community to me is connection, really, human connection. The way music brings people together is kind of unlike any other, really. It's a universal language, so yeah, it's super cool, really important.
Brown-eyed boy with a burning ambition, heart of a child and a smile like a thief.
What attracted me to the project, beyond, you know, Karina, who's got good taste and knows what she's doing, and I admire her gumption in getting projects like this off the ground, was the calibre of the other artists taking part. You know, I had a sniff at the lineup before I agreed. You always got to watch out what lineup you're in. There's a venue in Milton Keynes, they've got a big painting and be on the wall. And I was like, that is nice. But then they got spare frames around either side. And it all depends like who's going in them other frames. Do you know what I mean? If it's like Hitler and Boris Johnson at Hall of Bellends, that's not quite such a compliment, is it? So you have to have a look at the lineup before you put your name down. And then when I saw particularly people like Hannah Lou Clark, you know, who's one of my favourite artists and favourite people. If I'm honest, she was the one that sealed the deal for me. You know, if it's good enough for Hannah, good enough for me. Thank you. Sign me up. Yep. I was talking to a blog yesterday, I think it was, about, you know, what kind of effect that the economic downturn will have on musicians, and my prime concern was young musicians, up-and-coming musicians, who are going to find that their disposable income has disappeared. Therefore, maybe they can't scrape together, you know, whatever it is, 30 quid a week to have their practice and write new songs and whatnot, or if their amp gets busted, whatever. And I remembered that that's what the Pl4ces Trust is for. You know, it's for young disadvantaged musicians to give them that sort of extra bit of help, extra lifeline. You know, we would have could have really used. Back in the day, we had help from other areas, but an organisation like Pl4ces would have been great. And so, you know, community is very important to me. Try and make good art, and you'll be all right. You know, believe in yourself.
Take care, love.
Take care. See you later.
Bye now.
Hi, I'm Lucy Crockford. I'm the Community Development Manager for the Wellesley Estate in Aldershot. And this is the Smith Dorrien House. So today the Smith Dorrien building is used as offices for the people working on the Wellesley Estate. So the Wellesley Estate is part of a large regeneration project of the old army land here. We're building 3,850 new homes. We've opened our doors up today for Pl4ces Trust to do their mapping exercise upstairs. Obviously the building's steeped in history, lots of musical entertainment happened here, so we were happy to be able to help.
My name is Matt Gibbons and my artist name is Husker Mond. I was very lucky to be brought onto the project by one of the other artists on the project, Banana Fish, aka James G. Wright.
Pl4ces Trust, keep making music.
Do it.
Yeah, and I was delighted to come along. My performance, so I'm primarily sort of like an electronic indie ambient artist, so it was weird being asked to create something that would interact with the space.
So what I did was I came up with an acoustic solution. Really, this is my first time being involved with Pl4ces, and the fantastic work that they all do, and hopefully I'll be able to carry on being involved and contributing. In terms of what Pl4ces are doing and bringing communities together plays, an enormous role. It's so intrinsic into who we are as people. Yeah, so what more could you ask?
My name's Akira Brown and my artist name is Akira Sheelis. My involvement in this project is a continuation of working with live electronic sound, particularly in spaces that aren't usually set up for music performance. Electronic music doesn't necessarily have the same performative element, so placing these kind of sounds and these kind of performances in spaces that are a little bit more varied makes for a more interesting experience for the audience, I think. I picked Made a Gym for its impulse response because usually with electronic music there's a tendency to rely on reverb effects quite heavily. It's sort of a go-to in electronic music, and being in a space like this means that there's less focus on using your own reverb to add space and character to the sounds, and you get more of that from being within the space. I've performed at an event for the Pl4ces Trust once before, so this is a continuation of my involvement with the Trust and collaborating with them to bring events that present artists that have a lot of variety and come from different genres and have different approaches to music, and bringing all of that together. I think for me, community is probably the most important part of my relationship with creating music. When I was writing a piece of music, which I'll be performing a version of tonight, it was helpful to do a little bit of research into what this space is and how it became the gymnasium that it is now, and its history in Aldershot as a military town. So the reason for making the music, or making the sounds that I was using on the track, I figured that this kind of space, there would be lots of quite maybe industrial sounds. It'd be quite dynamic, it'd be quite noisy, and it's something that I wanted to also put into my music, to do a song version of what this space would sound like day to day.
We've been really fortunate to come here today through the National Lottery funding from the Arts Council England. You've given us a fantastic opportunity to really explore creativity and get the wider global music community involved.
For the people, keep helping communities, keep contributing to the community that you exist in. Just do the thing. You know what you've got to do, so do it.
Yeah, just keep listening to music, keep rooting for your favourite bands, and keep supporting live music.
Oh God, a message to the people. Oh, my people. People of Earth. Keep making music. Music is medicine. So we all need that in our lives. So keep doing it.